In this presentation, we're going to learn all about phonemic awareness. This is a crucial skill in reading instruction, but what is it exactly? Why is it so important? How can you assess phonemic awareness? How do you develop phonemic awareness? What is phonemic awareness? Phonemic awareness is the ability to identify, hear, and manipulate the smallest sounds of the language, which are referred to as phonemes. These individual sounds, when together in a string, form words. For instance, the word mat is the combination of the following three phonemes: a, t, mat. A person who is highly skilled in phonemic awareness is able to recognize and isolate the individual sounds in words. These skills are called phoneme segmentation and isolation. Blend a set of given phonemes to form words. This skill is called blending. Add and delete phonemes to form new words. This skill is called phoneme manipulation. Why is phonemic awareness so important? In the last few decades, numerous groundbreaking studies have shown the importance of phonemic awareness in literacy. Phonemic awareness has been found to be the #1 predictor for future successful reading, but also of reading difficulty. For instance, take a look at this extract from the National Reading Panel. Phonemic awareness improves their ability to manipulate phonemes in speech. This skill transfers and helps them learn to read and spell. Phonemic awareness training benefits not only word reading but also reading comprehension. Phonemic awareness training contributes to children's ability to read and spell for months, if not years, after the training has ended. Effects of phonemic awareness training are enhanced when children are taught how to apply phonemic awareness skills to reading and writing tasks. National Reading Panel Report Year 2000. Or this other one. The best predictor of reading difficulty in kindergarten or first grade is the inability to segment words and syllables into constituent sound units, phonemic awareness. Toward a definition of dyslexia, Annals of Dyslexia. The ability to hear and manipulate phonemes plays a causal role in the acquisition of beginning reading skills. Phonological awareness, instructional and curricular basics, and implications. The main takeaways from these reports and studies are: phonemic awareness is a foundational skill in learning to read. The lack of phonemic awareness is the best predictor of reading difficulty in kindergarten and first grade. Phonemic awareness training significantly improves reading and spelling, but also has a beneficial impact on reading comprehension. The benefits are long-lasting and go well beyond the training period. Phonemic awareness in struggling readers. Many struggling readers lack phonemic awareness skills. The causes behind these difficulties in phonemic awareness can range from a simple lack in practice of phonemic awareness activities to phonological processing disorders. In this regard, it is also worth mentioning that so phonemic awareness becomes an automatic response, it needs to be trained with purpose-driven activities. For most students, the development of advanced phonemic awareness skills does not happen naturally. Should we assess all the students' phonemic awareness skills? Ideally, yes. Phonemic awareness should be assessed several times from the beginning of kindergarten through first grade. Ideally, students should be assessed 3 times a year, at the beginning of the school year, at midpoint, at the end of the school year. This allows identify children at risk of reading difficulty and also track their progress. You can assess your child at home if you suspect he or she is at risk, if you're a homeschooling family, or if this type of assessment is not available at your child's school. We'll go through some sample questions in today's video. By the way, you'll also find a link to download this informal assessment sample in the video description. This assessment should be done one-on-one. Let's go. Okay, so this is our phonemic awareness assessment. The first skill that we're gonna assess our student on is isolating words. So we're gonna ask the student to isolate one of the two words in a compound word. So these are some sample questions. So say football without saying foot, and the student should answer ball, or popcorn without saying corn, and the student should answer pop, or meatball without saying ball, and the student should answer meat. These are our suggestions, but you can use different compound words if you want to. Then we move on to isolating syllables. This is the same, but instead of isolating words, we're isolating one syllable in a two-syllable word. So, for instance, picnic without saying nick, and the student should answer pick. Burger without saying burr, and the answer is gur. Say cactus without saying cact, and the answer should be just, okay? But you can use, again, different words, two-syllable words if you want to. Moving on to recognizing rhymes. This is slightly more complicated, and as you can see, we're moving from the simplest skills to the most complex ones. So, recognizing rhymes. Okay, ask the student to identify whether the two words rhyme, have the same ending sound or not. Okay, and these are some sample words that you can use. Moving on to initial sound recognition isolation. What you're gonna do is ask the student to identify the beginning sound of each word. Say the word slowly, stressing each individual sound because this is kind of hard. So, what sound do you hear at the beginning of the word cat? Okay, you say it slowly. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word dog? What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word sun? You can use different words again. Moving on, phoneme matching. Which words start with the same sound? And here you have some sample words that you can use. Final sound recognition isolation. This is more tricky. This is more complicated, okay? Way more difficult than the first sound. Not as much as the middle sound, but still more complicated than the first sound. So what is the last sound in these words? Say the word slowly, okay? Stressing the sounds again. Blending sounds, okay? More tricky. Ask the student to blend the individual sounds to form a word. Okay, so these are some samples over here. Blend the sounds up. What word do they make? And the answer is map. Blend the sounds hot. What word do they make? Hot. Okay, you can use different words again, but I recommend you use CVC words. So these are words formed by a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. No more than 3 sounds. We don't want to overcomplicate these for children. Same for the next skill, which is segmenting sounds, which is the opposite to blending. So you're gonna give them the word, ask the student to break a word into its individual sounds. What sounds do you hear in the word pig? P-I-G. That's the answer, okay? And this is tricky. And it's difficult for them if you actually use complicated words. So again, CVC words, words formed by a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, okay? Then we move on to phoneme deletion, initial sound. So we're gonna ask the student to say a word after removing the initial sound. This is phoneme manipulation, and these are even more complicated skills for children, so bear that in mind. Moving on to phoneme deletion, again, it's the same but removing the last sound, okay? You have your examples over here. You can use different words again if you want to. We're ending up with phoneme substitution. This is the most complex skill of all, and you're gonna ask the student to swap one of the sounds in a word with another one. And again, you have some sample words over here. What to expect? Basic phonological awareness skills, including rhyming and word syllable isolation. Kindergarten. Initial phoneme matching and initial sound recognition towards the middle of kindergarten. Final sound recognition, isolation, end of kindergarten, beginning of first grade. Blending phonemes, end of kindergarten, beginning of first grade. Phoneme segmentation and phoneme manipulation, first grade. This is an informal assessment that can help you detect issues with phonemic awareness, pinpoint which phonemic awareness skills your student lacks of, and track progress. Remember, you can download our informal sample assessment in the video description. For alternative phonemic awareness tests, check our website, learningreadinghub.com. We'll also leave you a link to the specific page on our website in the video description, as well as a link to download some free phonemic awareness worksheets. Final thoughts. By helping children develop phonemic awareness, you'll be providing them with essential foundational skills for reading success and language development. Developing an awareness of the sounds will set the path for success. And don't worry if your child has sound processing difficulties, rest assured that this skill can be trained. He or she will probably need more practice and a lot of consistency. We suggest working on phonemic awareness activities on a consistent basis. If you suspect that he or she's got auditory dyslexia, a type of dyslexia tied to the strong difficulty in discriminating sounds, I recommend you watch this other video next.